Very good morning to all of you. Today I am going to discuss about the data warehouse and OLAP. It's an important topic in database management system. And before starting, I would like to first discuss about the what is the content of today's lecture. First, we will see why it is required to have data warehouse, what is data warehouse, and what's the multi-dimensional data model, and what is the difference between OLAP and OLTP. Okay, so I would like to start with the relational database theory. As all we know that relational database modeling process is used for the normalization, the relationship of the table, and it's a progressively decomposed into the smaller relationship to a point where all the attributes in a relationship are very tightly coupled with the primary key of the relationship. Okay, so the first normal form that will have the data items that are atomic. The second normal form, it's a kind of attributes that is totally dependent on the primary key. And third kind of form that is known as third normal form, it's all non-key attributes that are completely independent of each other. So all we know that when we talk about the database management system, so the relational database management system or relational table is one of the basic type of management system that is used for storing all the data sets in the form of tables. That table comprises rows and columns, and we may represent this relational table in the form of first normal form, second normal form, and third normal form. Okay, so this is example of a university table including the name of the student, then the course, the credit value, and staff, and the enrolled student, their course code, and the student number. Okay, so the relational database theory is the process of the normalization that generally breaks a table into many independent tables. And a normalization process, or when we talk about the table which is considered as a normalized table, it have a flexible model that will make it easy to maintain the dynamic relationship between the business entities. So a relational database system is a effective and efficient way for the operational database. It's a lot of updates is there. It will aiming at optimizing the update performance. But what are the problems in a relational database system? In relational database system, a fully normalized data model can perform every inefficient for the queries. And when we talk about the past data set or historical data sets, historical data are usually large with static relationship. So it is unnecessary to join tables that make the unacceptable long time, and historical data are diverse. So these are the problems which may be caused, which may be faced in case of a relational database management system. Okay, and problem is the heterogeneity. We may have information, we may have different information sources which may be heterogeneous in nature. So because of this heterogeneity, as we know that heterogeneity is everywhere, each and every uh, thing in world, real world, are heterogeneous. They are not same every time, they may be different from each other. So because of this heterogeneity, because of the different sources of heterogeneous information, we need to have data warehousing. As we know that is in this figure, personal databases, the World Wide Web, www, then digital libraries, there may be some scientific databases. All these kind of data sets are different from each other. So we are having heterogeneous information coming from various sources. So it's very different. It is required to have different interfaces to assemble all this heterogeneous information. It's a different kind of data representation, and there may be some duplication and inconsistencies in the information. Okay, so uh, the goal of this database management system, or the goal of such kind of unified access to the data, it is an integrated system that will include the World Wide Web or the digital libraries, that will have some scientific databases or personal databases. So the goal of data warehousing, or the aim of data warehouse, is to have the unified access to all the data sets coming from different sources. We need to integrate the heterogeneous data set sources into a single platform so that everyone can access that data sources. It's a kind of unified access to all the data source. It collects and combines each and every information coming from different sources. It provides an integrated view that may be considered as a uniform user interface, and also it supports the sharing of the database between multiple users. You can have the sharing option. You can share your database over the internet that may be used by different users. Okay, so the traditional research approach is based on the query driven, that is on demand. The client needs to access the data set. You can say it's an integrated database management system that will be assessed by different clients, and we are having different metadata. And when the data is coming from various sources, it may be wrapped up in the database management system that will be integrated on a common platform that is known as data warehouse. Okay, so the disadvantages of query driven approach: it may be delay in the query processing, it may be slow or unavailable information sources may be there, it's a complex filtering and integration, there may be inefficient and potentially expensive sources for the frequent queries, it competes with the local processing at the sources, and it has not caught on its industry. So the warehousing approach. So what this data warehouse does? What is the utilization of the warehouse approach? The information is integrated in advance before the use of that information. It is stored uh, in the way for direct query and analysis. So in this figure, you can see the data, the information coming from various sources. It may have some extractor or monitoring system that will be integrated using an integration system, and that integrated information, that integrated data sets may be converted, may be considered as a data warehouse, and a client can access that data warehouse as per their requirement, because this data warehouse is having integrated database from different sources. Different kinds of heterogeneous information can be integrated over that data warehouse. Okay, so moving to the next slide. So these are the advantages of the approach used in the data warehousing. It is having high query performance, but it is not necessarily that most current information is there. It doesn't interface with the local processing at the sources. It is complex queries at warehouse, OLTP at information sources. The information may be copied at warehouse, and it can modify, it can annotate, summarize, and restructure the database. It can store the historical information as well, and also there is a very good provision of the security, and no auditing is required, and it has caught on it industry. So these are some advantages of the approach used in the data warehouse. Not either or decision, it is a query driven approach that is still better for the rapidly changing information, the sources, the rapidly changing sources, the truly vast amount of the data from large number of sources, and the clients with the unpredictable needs. What is a data warehouse? In a practical way, in a simplest way, a data warehouse is defined as a simple or a single, complete, and consistent storage of the data that may be obtained from a variety of sources, and it made available to end user in a way that they can understand and use it in the business context. So this is the standard definition, one of the simplest definition given by Barry Devlin from IBM consultant. So a data warehouse is a subject-oriented approach. It's an integrated approach. It may vary from time to time, and it's a non-volatile approach. It's a collection of data. It's a collection of information coming from various sources that is used primarily in the organizational decision making. Okay. Data warehouse is a stored collection of the diverse data sets. As we know that uh, heterogeneity is everywhere. If we are dealing with the heterogeneous data sources, so we can say that the data warehouse is a collection of, or you can say it's a stored collection of diverse data sources a solution to data integration problem, that is a single repository of the information. It's a subject oriented approach that will be organized by subject, not by the application. And these kind of approach, the data warehouse approach, can be used for the analysis and data mining practices. It may be optimized differently from the transaction oriented database, and there may be different user interfaces that may be aimed at execution at different approaches. It is having the facility to store the large volume of data sets. You can store a large volume of data set in GB and TB using data warehouse. It is non-volatile, that may include the historical data sets, and its time attributes are very important. There is a updation, but it is infrequent. There is not frequent updation in the data warehouse. It may be append only. For an example, all the transactions at the Sainsbury, the complete client histories at the insurance firm, and LEC financial information and the portfolios. So this figure is showing the generic warehouse architecture. When we are going to design, or how much the, you can say, the how the architecture of warehouse looks like. So this is the generic warehouse architecture. It will include the data sources. It will include the data coming from various sources that may be integrated over a single platform that is known as warehouse. And there may be the metadata of the entire data set that will include the data about the data. Then there may be the option for the maintenance, the designing, optimization, and loading. And the data warehouse, or the information or data stored at the warehouse, it may be used for query and analysis by different clients as per their requirement. So this is the simplest architecture of generic warehouse, how it looks like and how it will be architect, how different kinds of data sources, different uh, processes are involved in the architecture of the warehouse. So data warehouse may have two conceptual views: single layer that will have every data element, it is stored once only, and virtual warehouse. Then two layer view that will include the real time and derived data. It's mostly used approach in the industry today. Three layer architecture, it's a transformation of real time data to the derived data, that is really required by in the two steps that will have the operational system and the information system. And it is started from the real time data, then reconciled data, and we can have the derived data set. It's a particular informational needs that is having physical implementation of the data warehouse. Data warehousing is a two distinct issues: how to get information into warehouse, that is data warehousing, and what to do with data once it is in the warehouse, that is warehouse database management system. And both are the very prominent aspects in the research, and industries has focused on the use of warehouse database management system. There are some issues in the data warehouse also. First issue is related to the designing of warehouse. How we are going to design an effective warehouse, or how you are going to design a useful data warehouse. Extraction is very important. How to wrap up, how to extract the information from various sources, how to monitor the changes, and how you are going to integrate different data sources. Before that, in some cases you need to apply the cleaning and merging of the data sets. And also the specification and maintenance is an important part of warehousing. It may include the optimization, and there may be the miscellaneous issues like the evolution of the data warehouse is required. So moving to the next slide. Now we are going to discuss about OLTP versus OLAP. As we know that OLTP is online transaction processing that describes the processing at the operational sites, and OLAP, it's online analytical processing that describes the processing at the warehouse. So how we are going to differentiate the processing, how we are going to describe these two kind of processing. One is transaction processing that will be applied at the operational sites, and another is the analytical processing that will be applied, that will be processed at the warehouse. So this is the warehouse which is specialized in the database. The standard database is considered as OLTP, that will have mostly the updates. It may have many small transactions. It will store MBGB of the data. It's a current snapshot. It is indexed on PK. It also supports the raw data, and it is having thousands of the users, that is clerical users. Or you can say the OLAP, Analytical Transaction Protocol. It's a kind of processing on the warehouse that will have mostly the reads. Its queries are long and complex. It can store GBs and TBs of the data sets. It may also include the past transactions or historical data sets. There may be lots of scans. It is used as a summarized and reconciled data sets, and hundreds of the users that may have decision makers and the analysts. So decision support is a kind of information technology that helps the knowledge worker. It may have execution manager and analyst to make faster and better decisions. So this decision support system helps to make a faster and better decision by different executives and managers. And what were the sales volume by the region and product category for the last year? How did the share price of the company manufacturer are correlated with the quartile profiles, and which orders should be fed to maximize the revenue? So online analytical processing is a component of decision support system. You can use these kind of processing at the warehouse for making any decision that is considered as a important and a element of the decision support system, that is DSS. Okay, so this is all about the decision support system. And when we talk about spatial decision support system, spatial decision support system is a type of decision support system that is mainly deals with the you can say the spatial data sets, that mainly deals with the data sets which is having spatial references, which is having some reference systems in terms of point, line, and polygon. So decision support system as per the requirement. When we talk about this OLAP, as we know that OLAP is a part of decision support system. So decision support system is a three-tier process. It may have the warehouse database server, that's almost always a relational database management system. It is rarely the flat files. OLAP servers, online analytical processing. It's a kind of server that will be having a relational OLAP. It is an extended relational database management system that will be used to map the operations on multidimensional data to standard the relational operators. So the multidimensional OLAP, or it is called as MOLAP, it's a kind of analytical processing. It's which is based on spatial purpose. It's a specific kind of analytical processing that will have the server that directly implements the multidimensional data and the operations. So the clients for these kind of decision support system, it's a three-tier decision support system. The clients include the query and the reporting tools, analysis tool, and data mining tool. So you can say the decision support system having multiple clients depending on the query and the reporting tool. What are the analysis tools are used in decision support system, and what are the tools that are used, that are going to be used by the in the data mining process. So this is all about the three-tier decision support system. Okay, so moving to the next slide here. Yeah, you see this is the complete decision support system based on the data warehouse. Here you see the information source, then data warehouse server at this tier 1, Then OLAP server tier 2, and client is at the tier 3. So it is started from the semi-structured source and also having some operational databases that will be extracted. That is a kind of extract the transformation load, and the at the tier 1, that is data warehouse server, it is having the integrated approach. It is having integrated information from multiple sources. That is also considered as a data mart. Data mart is considered as a composite, or you can say the place where all the data sets are stored, and it can be used for different purposes. Then at tier 2, at tier 2 step, that is a OLAP server that may have two types, that is multidimensional OLAP or relational OLAP. Multidimensional of analytical uh, processing, and relational OLAP that will be used as a server, that will be used as a processing on the server side. That server is at the tier 2 position. And finally, the information which is coming from the source, which is coming from different servers, that is analytical online analytical processing. It will be used by the client for different applications. The client can use this information in analysis of the data sets, query reporting of the data sets, or the data mining options or data mining practices. So this is the complete decision support system based on the three-tier architecture. At tier 1, we are having data warehouse, that is a server where all the data sets are stored on a single platform, that is known as data warehouse. Then at the tier 2, that is the second stage, where OLAP server is there, which is of two types, MOLAP and ROLAP. Then the information which is communicating from this OLAP server, it will be transferred to the tier 3, that is a client side, and the client can use this information for different practices, different applications like analysis, query reporting, and the data mining. So this is the complete structure, complete decision support system. Okay, now moving to the next slide. Now here I am going to discuss about the differences between data warehouse and data marts. Okay, so the enterprise warehouse, it's a collection of the information about an object. When we talk about the enterprise warehouse, it's information which is collected about the object. It may be the information like customers, the name of the customer, the name of the product, the sales information, assets, and personal information that span the entire organization. It requires some extensive business modeling that may take years to design and build. Whereas the data marts are defined as a departmental subset that mainly focuses on some selected subjects. It's not having the entire objects, it is focused on some selected objects that will include the marketing data mart, that is a customer, product, and sales, and how faster rollout but complex integration in the long term is a part of data mart. And also third type of warehouse is a virtual warehouse. In virtual warehouse, we can view over operational databases, like we can have materialization, summarize the summary of the efficient query processing, and it's easy to build, but it requires some access capability. It requires some access capability on operational databases server. Okay, so this is the difference between the data warehouse and the data mart. We can say that here the data warehouse collects the entire information about the objects, collect the entire information about any subject. It may include the information that will represent the entire organization, and it requires some extensive modeling techniques that may take years to design, because it is collecting the entire information about that organization, or it is collecting the entire data from different sources. Whereas data mart is a subset of the entire database, and it is only focused on some selected objects. It is not related to the entire database, but it is related to some specific data from the entire database. That may include some specific information about that object, or you can say the subject, like the customer, product, and sell. And it's faster rollout, but it's complex integration in the long term. Means data marts cannot be useful for long term integration of the database. It's not very much useful for long term operations, but it is very much useful for focusing on some selected objects. So it's a kind of faster processing. And virtual warehouse, that may be used over operational databases. It's a kind of materialized summary view for efficient query processing, that it's easy to build but require some access capacity on operational database server. So now moving to the next slide. So how we are going to use OLAP for decision support. OLAP is in online analytical processing. It can be used for developing the decision support system. It supports almost all kind of ad hoc querying for business analyst. It thinks in terms of the spreadsheets. The data sets are stored in the terms of spreadsheets that will have some rows and columns. It will be used for viewing the sales data by the geography, time, or product. And also it is extending the spreadsheet analysis model to work with the warehouse data. The warehouse includes a large amount of data sets, and it is semantically enriched to understand the business terms. Oh, and also it combines the interactive queries with the reporting functions. It will combine multiple queries at a time, and it will be used for reporting the functions. The multidimensional view of the data is the foundation of OLAP. OLAP, online analytical processing, supports the multi-dimensional view of the data. Like it supports different kinds of data models. It supports different operations, like you can say the edit, delete, subsetting. Other operations are supported by the OLAP. So OLAP is a kind of processing that can be done on the warehouse, data warehouse, and it is also useful for developing a decision support system. It is very much useful for decision support system, and it supports it supports almost different kinds of ad hoc querying, and it extends the spreadsheet analysis to work with the warehouse data. It supports the large amount of data sets, and it combines different interactive queries with some reporting functions. So now moving to the next slide. These are some approaches that can be used for online analytical processing servers. As you know that the entire information are stored on the server in the form of data warehouse. So there are different approaches to OLAP servers. We are having relational DBMS as warehouse server. So there may be two possibilities for OLAP servers. One kind of OLAP server is considered as a relational OLAP, that is known as ROLAP. It's a relational and specialized relational database management system to store and manage the warehouse data. Then the second is OLAP middleware that will support the missing information, that will support the missing pieces of the information during the processing state. And second kind of OLAP server is used for this warehouse is a multi-dimensional OLAP. It is known as YUM-OLAP. It is based on the array storage structure, and it directs the access to array data structures. So the depending on the need, when we are dealing with relational database, we can use relational OLAP. If we are dealing with some array based data structure, if we are having some data structures which is stored in the form of array, then we can use the multi-dimensional online analytical processing, that is known as YUM-OLAP. So these are the two important approaches that can be used for the data warehousing for the OLAP servers. Okay. So now moving to the next slide. So for OLAP server, we are having some query engine requirements. These requirements are very much useful for performing any query on the server side. It will be used for aggregating all the information, that is a kind of maintenance and querying. It will be used for deciding what to pro compute and when, and the query language which is used to support the multi-dimensional operations. It's a kind of standard structured query language. And we are having scalable query processing. It's a kind of data intensive and the data selective queries. So for running or for OLAP server, we are having some query engine. We require some query engines that will be that will consider as an aggregate query engine that will maintain and query, and it will decide what to pre-compute and when, what to compute and when it is required to compute. And it supports different languages, query languages like SQL is one of the simplest kind of query language, that is a structured query language. And that query processing should be scalable, like you can say the data intensive and the data selective queries can be supported if we are having scalable query processing. So this is all about the data warehousing and the OLAP. Today we have discussed data warehousing, the requirement, the need of data warehousing, and what is the difference between OLAP and OLTP, and how different kinds of relational database management system and multi-dimensional database management systems are used for OLAP server, that will be used for retrieving the information, that will be used for assessing the information from the you can say the from data warehouse. And supports data warehousing supports different kind of data, like it supports the heterogeneity in the data. So if we are dealing with the heterogeneous data sources, so data warehouse is a useful approach. It's a useful method to store the data coming from different sources, which is considered as a heterogeneous data sources, into a single platform, and the client or different users can access that data as per their requirement. So data warehouse is very important for managing the heterogeneous data sources, for managing the data coming from different heterogeneous sources, for the use for assessing by different users as per their requirement. So thank you very much for today's lecture, and we will meet again in the next class with the next lecture. Thank you very much.